morning, everybody. My name is Carla, and you've reached my Flosstube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross-stitch, but also other crafts that I enjoy and a little bit of life thrown in. Today is, oh, I didn't write it down. It is Sunday. It is the 14th of January, 2024, and today's my Flosstube number 224. I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time finding my channel, I hope you like what you see, want to hit like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. If you really like what you see, I do have a super thanks button below. That is never expected or required, but it definitely is very appreciated when people give me monetary tips. Sorry, that is my trash getting in my way. Any money that I've given basically goes back into the channel to help pay for Zoom membership and shipping, stuff like that. So it is always very appreciated. I always try and give a weather report here in Southern California. Did I say welcome to all of my returning viewers? I don't think I did. Thank you so much for coming back. I'm feeling maybe a little scattered this morning. A little out of it. I'm having some back pain today. I don't know if it's due to weather or just due to sleeping funny or whatever, but I definitely am feeling a little bit crunchy in my back and knees, and yeah, it's messing with my brain a little bit. And my nose is running, so of course. It is very, very gray today. I don't know if you can tell. I always have my window open a little bit to get some natural light, and then you can get light from my kitchen, and you can see there's not really anything happening today. It's not even that early. It's like 9 o'clock. The gray is maybe gonna burn off later, but it is right now looking pretty gray and dismal outside. Our weather has been cool this past week. We've been in the low 60s every day. Low 60s is the high. It's supposed to warm up a little bit according to the weather report. It's supposed to go up to like the mid 60s, maybe up into 68. At one point the weather report was saying we were going to get up into 70s in the next 10 days, but that's gone down again, so I don't know what's going on. I like the cool weather. Doesn't always do great things with my body, but actually the heat doesn't do great things with my body either. So all in all, I prefer it cool. It's nice to snuggle under the blankets and snuggle up with my kitty, and I sleep much better when it's cooler. So yeah, so definitely I do like that. But the weather's been just pretty mild and nothing very exciting happening here. I know in Michigan, where my family is, they got their first like really big snow incident. I guess they'd had little flurries here and there, but nothing that was really sticking around. But this past weekend, they definitely got a lot of snow. They sent me pictures of the kids playing and Hudson trying to make a snowman, which was pretty funny because it was like this big. And I was like, well, they actually were video calling me, and I'm like, are you making a snow squirrel? He's like, Carla, it's a snowman. I'm like, oh, okay, well, the camera's far away. It looked like a snow squirrel. But just to give you an idea, the snowman wasn't big enough to use coal for the ice. He was using raisins, so that gives you an idea. But he was getting frustrated because it was hard for him to do with gloves on, and it was too cold to take the gloves off. But you know, I and his older brother were like, you can't make a snowman when it's just falling. You have to let it sit, and you know, you can't make a snowman with fresh powder. So, you know, voice of reason there with the older brother. But yeah, I mean, weather here has just been California weather, nothing very exciting. We have a little bit of rain forecast for next week. We had a little bit of rain a week ago, but you know, that's about it. Yeah, so don't have a bunch of like life stuff to tell you. Things are just chugging along. Normal stuff at work, normal stuff at home. I've been coming home. I've been crafting actually quite a bit. I think I got a lot of stuff done to show you this week. But I don't feel like I did anything stupendous, you know? So It is what it is. I don't have any little golden book work to report so far this week. I didn't do anything yesterday. And considering how my back is feeling right now, I don't think I'm going to get anything done today because I just don't feel like sitting here. I think I'm going to be stretching out and relaxing today. I have like one big chore thing that I want to get done. I'm going to force myself to get done. And after that, that's it. That's all I'm going to force myself to do. So I don't think I'm going to have any little golden book work this week. But over the course of the week, I actually did a lot of stuff. I did work on my cocoon shrug for my crocheting. It's not going to look much different than it did last time I showed you because it's just in the growing phase, but I figured I'd haul it out and you guys can see, you know, this is how tall it is now. I'm at about 2 1/2, 2 1/3 balls in, and I think I need to do about 4 to make this long enough. So when we're talking long, we're talking, you know, so that it would go from my shoulders down to like hip area. But I think it looks really nice. It feels really nice. I like this stitch because it's easy. I mean, it has visual interest, but it's very easy to do. And this yarn, as I said, this is Bernat or Bernat, I'm not sure, Pop. And I like it. I like working with it. It's really easy. It would make a really nice like blanket. So okay, so that was my crocheting this week, which wasn't a lot. I did a lot more stitching. I did a little bit of diamond painting as well, just because I want to get this wreath thing finished. Oh, so I can get it on my door, because I still have my Halloween diamond painting kitten thing on the door. It's January. I really should get the Halloween thing off. So, okay, I'm going to peel up the plastic so you can kind of see it a little bit better. So I'm down to like 3 colors. There's like 3 pinky colors that are still left. And I might be able to finish this today. We'll see, you know. At least I'll work on part of it today. I want to get that done so I can drill the little holes, get it on the chain, and get it out on my front door. Just because I like having something, you know, to make it visually appealing out there, you know, when I come home. But yeah, I do have this little thing that I did ages ago, but I think it's too little to put on the door, really. It's both sides too, so it's like meant to hang and swing around, and it came with these in my opinion dumb looking like feather things that you were supposed to hang off of it, and I didn't do that. But okay, so that, other than cross stitching, is what I did this week. So let's get on to the cross stitching. The first thing I have to show you, actually, I didn't work on this week. I worked on it last week, and I think it last a week ago Friday, and I forgot to show it in my last Flosstube, so I figured I would add it today. So this is Kitty Magic artwork, by Katerina Kukiadis, and having an earth design chart. It is mostly monochromatic. There is green in the eyes, so when we get there, it'll be very exciting. However, we're still not out of the big white triangle which I know shows up very badly on camera. Well, actually, that's not too bad. So I finished that diagonal and ready to start another one. So I think until I get more into the cat, that is not the most exciting piece for me to show you, but it is actually still fun to work on. Okay. All right, so let's see. I did a lot of work this week on all of my full coverages. I'm in my full coverage, focus on full coverage month. Now this doesn't mean that the full coverages won't come out again through the course of the year, because they will. They get mixed in according to the theme of what they are and stuff like that. But I just like having that beginning of the year, like big chunk of, you know, time devoted to the full coverages to make sure that they do get some progress. Especially on the ones that maybe I'm not, there's certain ones that fit into a lot of categories and that I really enjoy working on, so those get progress anyway, but I just want to make sure that everything gets a little bit of progress. Okay, this is Pomegranate. It's a Mhill Kit. And this last year was in my inactive pile, so that just goes to show you that things don't necessarily go from inactive to UFO, although they could. It just means it's something that at the time I wasn't keen on working on, but now I totally am. So, and that is my progress on it. And now I've mentioned this before. It's one of those things that once you hear it, it seems really obvious, but until you hear it, you don't know, and then it's like a big revelation. So if you like to work on Mhill Kits, and they are fun. I really enjoy working on Mhill Kits. I enjoy working on the perforated paper, especially because the projects aren't that big. Mhill Kits that are beaded, heavily beaded, when you look at the symbols, okay, so the trick is, because sometimes when you look at these charts, they're overwhelming. Like, it's very dense and there's a lot of symbols and it can be kind of overwhelming. But keep in mind that all of the round symbols, so different circles with different things in them, for the most part. This one, there's a triangle. I guess they ran out of rounds. All the round symbols are beads. So when you see all those round symbols in there, and you'll notice that none of these are really round. They're dots and lines and shapes and pluses and X's and stuff like that, and slashes. Those are not. There is one sort of little dotty white one that's off white. But for the most part, the round symbols are beads. So that kind of visually helps you. You know, your eye can kind of skip over all those round ones. And it's like one of those, I think that's one of those things that gets passed from person to person. Like when I was first stitching and somebody's like, you know that, you know, I was working on my first one, you know that all the round symbols are beads. I was like, no, really? And I looked at the chart and it's, oh my God, you're right. And I've said it a couple of times on my channel and people are like, what? Wait, let me check that chart. Oh my God, you're right. So yeah, it is a helpful thing to know. And I think it's one of those things that when you know it, you don't think about it, and don't think like how many people don't know it. So now you know. Okay, I did work on Rose and Sweet Cherry this week, which is my New Year, New Start. It's Riolis. It is the wool acrylic fluffy floss. Normally, I love working with this stuff, and I still do on this project as well. But this project is just a little bit different than the other Riolises that I've done in that this is definitely full coverage, and I may have, it's so pretty though. Look how pretty that is. It is full coverage. It's done on white fabric. I thought when I bought the pattern that it was done on black. And no, no, it's done on white. It's full coverage. It's all blended threads. And just to make things more difficult for myself, I decided to take out the 14 count fabric that came with it and replace it with 16 because I wanted the finished piece to be small enough to fit into like a standard frame. I thought that that was smart of me. And then I started stitching full coverage with this floss and went, perhaps not the wisest decision I've ever made. It is, of course, doable, but it is tight and it's not an issue. It just means that I have to stitch it. Like, you can't have ninja stitches. I mean, you can, but if you don't fill them in pretty quick, you're going to lose them. So anyway, I got this whole top section done, and it just means I have to stitch, you know, using parking and more than one color at a time, which I do anyway on full coverage, so it's not like it's a huge issue. It's just this one takes a little bit of concentration because it is the wool acrylic floss. You do have because it's so tight, it's like working with Whisper, where it can like kind of strip off the fuzzy part and pull, you know, pill it up. It can get like that if you are trying to use too long of a piece and trying to go through a very tight section, you know, stuff like that. So it just requires a little extra concentration, I guess. Okay, this is, did I work on this? I did work on this. I wrote it down. Mini Flower Kitty. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Artwork by Jeremiah Kentner and charted by Heaven and Earth. This one I'm doing 28 count 2/1 tent stitch. I am noticing quite a bit of stitch lines showing on this. I find it interesting to see them, but really you see it like at a certain angle when you're close. It's not going to show when it's done. At least it's not going to show to an extent that bothers me. So this little dark bit right there is the beginning of the kitty ear. So that's pretty exciting. And I love the watercolor-ness of this one. Yeah. Organize here. It's like when I get done with my video, I don't want it to be a complete disaster area around here. Okay, this is Tuxedo Cat Eyes. Carrie Hawkes is the artist, and charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm doing this one on an 18 count because I want it to be relatively the same size as Lavender Roses, because I think that they go together. They're the same artist. So I finished this diagonal. I got back into like got through the big chunk of black and into some more confetti down here, and then started again. This piece in my head is going to go relatively fast because there are big chunks of both black and white in it, and when I'm in a chunk of black or a chunk of white, it's easy to stitch faster. But you can see the beginning of the eye. So it'll be interesting to see if the eyes are like as mesmerizing as the eyes on Lavender Roses, which I did post a video. It's just like, it's less than 2 minutes. Friday. I went through and I took screen capture shots of every time I showed Lavender Roses and did them in a time-lapse sort of video so you could kind of see the growth, which I thought was kind of cool. So let me know if you like that. I mean, it wasn't super hard to do. These particular envelopes or pouches that I'm using, which are all felt, are just cat hair magnets, especially this one. I mean, I guess it's appropriate, it houses kitty litter, but every time I pick it up, it's like, where's my ruler? And I can't see it. It's around here somewhere, but okay. So this, as I said, is kitty litter, which is a Dimensions Gold chart that I started in December 2022. Wasn't like New Year, New Start for 2023. I just did it at the end of the year because I got it and I couldn't wait. And you can see more of that kitty getting filled in, coming into play. That's my new needle minder that I just got. And he looks a little weird right now because he needs more stitching and he needs his back stitching, but it's exciting to see 2 kitties as opposed to just the one. Big Ear is jumping on my bed. And when I'm doing my stitching or my videos, he doesn't go and sleep in his spot on the bed. No, he stretches out in my spot on the bed so that when I'm done with the video and I go sit down, there's no place for me. I mean, he's not a little cat. He's like 21 pounds, 20 pounds. So he's a big cat, but still he's a little animal. And how come a little animal can take up an entire bed? I don't understand it. But somehow he does. Okay, this is my mini solar system. Artwork by Adrian Chesterman, charted by Artisy. And this was just continuing on in my diagonal. I'm in sort of a confetti heavy area, so it's slower, but this is so pretty. I'm excited every time I work on this because it is very, very exciting to see it grow. I did have a bit of some kind of an error here in like my counting or whatever. It's fine. I mean, I'm just fudging it down to the end of the diagonal and then it'll be all fixed. And since this is just so like modelly, I don't think it really matters. I don't know what I did. I just know I got off somewhere and I was like missing a stitch and my diagonals were off. But as I said, because it's such a modeled area, I just don't think it really matters if the colors are off. And then last but not least, I worked on Pinky and Blue Boy, again charted by Artisy. Blue Boy Thomas Gainsborough, and Pinky Thomas Lawrence. And I'm stitching these on the same piece of fabric at the same time because I want them to grow at the same time. So I'm considering them like one project, but basically I do a diagonal on one and then I do a diagonal on the other, and then I go back and forth so that they'll grow at the same rate. And then of course they'll be cut apart and framed, you know, matching frames and whatever. So so let's see. I worked on Blue Boy this week because Pinky was a row or a diagonal ahead of him. So I did his diagonal, and then I started Pinky yesterday and I got through most of a diagonal. The exciting thing about him is, look, his head is already in the frame here. So these are actually pretty small. I mean, I am doing this on 28 count Jaslyn 2/110. So, yes, I'm stitching them small, but they're only like 2 and a bit pages across. So, so I'm already in the second one. So they're only going to be like this long. So that's already his head. So that's exciting. I do think that this particular project is going to need like a wash when it's done to like fluff everything up. And then Pinky is still in the background. Don't have any of her showing yet, but I think the next diagonal we'll see a bit of her bonnet come in to play. So perhaps not super exciting yet, but I'm excited. These are really the only like masterpiece type paintings that I ever thought I would want to do kind of, you know, in cross stitch. And then when I found them last year, I think it was, I was very excited about that. I do have little reproductions of them over there. Not facing you guys, so I don't know why I'm pointing, but I do have them there like that big. So it'll be exciting to have them in cross stitch as well. Okay, so I think that is it with what I've worked on this week. But I do have some plans and sort of haul to show you, and an update. So I showed you guys these a couple weeks ago that I had ordered these from eBay, and there were 4 and I could only see 2. I saw one of the other ones, so I got a third one on the way. I got the hummingbird window. So I think the last one is the dragonfly window. So if I can find that, again, for a decent price, I'm paying about $15 for them, which is, you know, not, considering they were probably like $3 or $4 originally. But I just, you know, they're very nostalgic. And then I have to decide if I actually want to stitch them or not. Because curl embroidery is not my thing. But I don't know. I might still want to. Okay. So, other stuff this week. I've talked to you guys about the project that I'm doing for Logan, which his birthday is the 28th of this month. So I have to get it done and in the mail sooner rather than later. So I really need to get working on it this week. I'm making basically I'm making a 20-sided die box that can hold his treasures, hold dice, hold whatever. I'm making it out of these plastic canvas triangles with this variegated yarn that I have. So basically I just need to do 20 of these triangles and then sew them together into a box. I'm gonna leave the top as like a hinge, you know. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have about 10 of them done. So I'm halfway finished with that part. But I have been considering like how I'm going to do the numbers, because I mean, it's a die, they still need numbers. And I thought at first I would like stitch them, and I'm like, this is going to be difficult, it's going to look horrible. And then I thought about getting stickers. I couldn't find ones that were big enough. And then I came across the idea of using a fabric paint. I found this puff paint online. I got the metallic white, which actually I'm glad I did because it's very pearlescent. And then I did a test one. I took the one triangle that I'd done that I liked the least and did a test of a 3. So I'm going to have to be a little bit, I don't know if careful is the right word. I mean, this was just the first one, so I had no idea how it was going to come out of the tube, how gloppy it was going to be. But it did dry really nicely, and I like the sheen of it. So I think it's going to be good to use this stuff. So when I get a little bit further in the project, this one I think is going to be a scrapper, because I didn't really love the way I did the yarn work on this. I like them more when they're a little bit more even, and this one it had like this shocking blue center. I like the blue when it's a whole triangle, but I didn't like them mixed. So this is kind of like a throwaway bit, but I will hold on to it for, you know, practicing with this puffy paint. But so that was one thing I got this week, was this puff paint to work on Logan's project. So I definitely need to do some more triangles today. I'm not gonna like probably do them all, but I'm gonna get several more done and then work on that over the course of the week so that maybe next week I can finish it and mail it out. Hopefully it'll get there by his birthday. But Logan's a pretty easy going kid, so when it comes to stuff like that. Okay. I did some fabric dyeing this past week. So what I showed you guys this last week, that I wanted to start this in February, because even though I'm working on the roses and sweet cherries, I felt like I was missing that Riolis flower experience. So I went through my Riolis haul and I picked out this one. And but you know, I don't like the white, so I took the fabric out and I dyed it, and this is what I came up with. And I think these colors are gonna look nice. On that. So I'm pretty happy with it. I was trying to take pictures, and I was trying to take pictures of the fabric and send it to Julie, and the pictures were coming out awful. Like all of the, it seemed like all of the rose and the peachy colors were like going to white, and all you could see was like the bright orange yellow, and it didn't look good at all in photos. But I think that that's pretty good. This was actually the piece of fabric that came with the kit, so it should be the right size. It's a 14 count. So yeah, so this is set to be started in February. Then I was just fooling around. This piece of fabric is kind of weird. Although it did give me ideas. I don't like how it came out with all of the colors that I put on it, but I do kind of like the technique if I had kind of like stuck to one color. But I tried doing this sort of splotching, and I think it kind of looks like an egg. But yeah. So, I mean, this isn't a gorgeous piece of fabric. I understand that it's kind of ugly, but it still could be used for smalls. There are areas, you know, that are prettier than others. As I said, I didn't necessarily like how it's green here and got purple splotches here and stuff, but I don't know. I find it interesting. It's growing on me a little bit, and it is less obvious blotchy in person. The camera always makes things look more blotchy, I think. But yeah, so that was just an experimental piece. Okay, and then the last piece I just did with no no idea behind what I was going to use it for. However, I have another project that I came across, and I might use this one, or I might have to dye another piece for it. But I think this one came out really pretty. This one reminds me kind of one of those, you know, big stick ice creams. And again, it's not as stark of a model. The lighter colors just wash out, it seems, and but I think it's really pretty. And so what I'm thinking about stitching on this, I was watching somebody's whip parade, and I cannot remember who it was. I think her name's Kate, but I don't remember her channel name. She isn't somebody that I watch regularly. It was just a Flosstube that I came across, you know, with the whip parade. And she showed a project. It was called, the project she showed was called Yes, I Can Bake. But the designer was Little Room in the Attic. And I don't know why. I mean, the thing that she showed wasn't my style, but I don't know. I thought it was cute. So I was like, oh, let me go look at that site. So I went onto the site, and they had some freebies. I always look at the freebies. Usually the freebies are like, they're nice, but they're not something that I wanted. But the freebies that were on this site, I saw these and I went, oh, I need to stitch those. And you know how it is, like sometimes something just hits you. So the first one I saw was this one's called Dandelion. And I loved it, right? I do stitch a lion every August of some kind, but I'm not waiting until August for these. I'm going to put them into my February floral. And so this is the first one I saw. And then looking further with the freebies, they had this one, Dandelion's Family. And I thought, how cute would it be to just put them all on one piece of fabric, you know, together. Now, this lion, the face looks like a female lion to me. And I mean, there's a baby. But obviously female lions don't have the mane. However, these are dandelions, not regular lions, so who knows? And on top of that, so what if the lion family is two dads? I mean, so what? So anyway, so the only change I think I'm going to have to make, I mean, aside from putting them next to each other so that they look good next to each other, is that the light source on the pictures is coming from a different place so that the shadows wouldn't make sense. So I'm going to have to kind of flip this shadow so the shadow's going back instead of coming forward, like this one. But I don't think that would be too big of a deal. So, yeah. So I pulled the flosses for them already. And then I was thinking that maybe this color, because I feel like the background has to be either like oranges or pinks. Now they're kind of shown on pink, which I like. But I don't know. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this fabric would work for the dandelions? Or should I think about dyeing something else like that's more pink and less orangey colors? Because I don't want to compete with the mains. But I do have this, you know, very wine colored area on this fabric. So I don't know. I haven't decided 100% yet on the fabric for this. Because I feel like it either needs to be blue or pink. So, but, and then I also have this one that I just dyed. So anyway, as I said, these were free charts. I really like them. So Dandelion's Family, they're done artwork by Laura Dawson. And I tried to look up Laura Dawson online to see other artwork because I just thought this was so clever with the dandelions. And there's like a lot of Laura Dawson's, and there's a lot of Laura Dawson art in the art world, like different ones. So I couldn't find the actual artist of this. But I just love how their bodies are like made up of like the leaves and stuff like that. And they have the dandelion tails and the flower mane. I just think they're so cute. So anyway, I'm excited about these. I just need to decide on fabric. I could go through my stash too and see if I have something blue that would work. I might have a big piece of blue actually, now that I think about it. Because I'm putting two things together, it's not that tall. It's only like, it only needs to be about 9 or 10 inches tall, depending on the size fabric I use. But because I'm doing two, it needs to be like, 20 inches wide. So yeah, I'm excited about that. It's really nice to find a pattern that you really like that's free. And I had all of the flosses in stash except for two. There was two that I had to substitute. There was a yellow that I didn't have, and I pulled a different yellow, and one other color. I mean, not really a big deal. And yeah, so I'm excited to start that in February. But now I'm thinking that I have a fabric that might work, so I wouldn't have to dye it. Other plans this week, possibly today, but my back is hurting, so I don't think so. I need to finish my ATC cards and get those sent out to Laura, stitching at the shore. So I kind of have to figure out what I'm doing with those. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it. So, plans for this coming week are more of, the same, stitching the same full coverage projects, figuring out fabric for this guy, definitely trying to finish or get close to finishing Logan's gift. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys have had a great week. I hope your new year is going well and things are starting to settle after the holiday rush. I know it can kind of be a slump. You have the rush and then you kind of have a slump. I felt that. But, things are starting to settle in nicely. So until I see you again, I hope you have a great week, and be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Carla. Bye-bye.